Hey there, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I'm Shawna, your counseling astrologer, and this is your Astro Psyche check-in for the week of July 11th. So this week we have Venus making some aspects, Venus in Gemini, and we have the Sun and Mercury making some aspects with Neptune, which I think will be sort of interesting. It's an interesting mix this week. And then also we have a full moon this week in Capricorn as well. So I will share with you the energy that's happening this week and how to work with that, how to align with that in the most helpful manner. Just a reminder that this is a general reading, so this does not take into account your personal life experience in your chart. But if you want that, you can definitely get an astrology reading with me. So let's talk about first what Venus is doing. So Venus is the planet of relationships, love, harmony, sensuality, sexuality, the things that we love, the things that we are attracted to, as well as the things that we are repulsed by as well. So that continuum. Right now, Venus is in the sign of Gemini, and Venus is actually going to change signs this Sunday. So Venus will be moving from Gemini into Cancer. But before that change happens, while Venus is in Gemini, it will make an aspect to Saturn and Neptune. So this is really interesting because these are two very different energies. Venus is going to trine Saturn. So this is a very helpful, grounding, and it's an aspect, Venus-Saturn. The trine is very much about like solidifying and healing relationships. It's about strengthening bonds in a way that feels secure and feels safe, Saturn. So this is a great energy to tune into if you want to do any sort of like relationship repair, repairing ruptures, or getting into a deeper connection with existing relationships, and especially communicating, emphasizing the Gemini part of this, Venus being in Gemini. Now the other part of this that's happening is Venus is going to square Neptune. And this is very different because Venus square Neptune is about ambiguity and illusion in relationships. So Venus is the relationship piece, and then Neptune is a symbol of dissolving boundaries, of not really having a clear picture of what exactly is going on. And being a square, there's a bit of a tension here. There's a bit of a challenge for you. There's a bit of a challenge to work through the ambiguity. So I think this really depends on how this is activating your personal birth chart. For example, if you're having already an aspect involving Neptune to some of your natal planets, you're going to feel the Neptune, that sort of like ambiguity, maybe even ambivalent and sort of like confusion energy a little bit more, versus if you have Saturn making the aspects to your birth chart, you're going to be feeling more of that grounding kind of energy. And I don't know, maybe you have both. So I would just notice what you notice, and I want you to think about leaning into what it is that you know for certain, because Venus square Neptune is about going into storytelling and getting drawn into illusions, and that can include like thinking about the worst possible scenario and like getting stuck in like a fear sort of mentality, and when there may not be any real basis of that. So I just want you to notice where your energy is going this week and to lean more into that Saturn energy, because that's going to be more supportive on the relationship front. Now, the other part of what's happening this week is we're having a full moon in Capricorn. So this is happening on Wednesday, the 13th at 11:37 a.m. Pacific time at 21 degrees of Capricorn. And so a full moon is a culmination of emotional energy. So in the days leading up to and on the day of the full moon, there can tend to be more of a feeling of like feeling really intense or feeling a lot of conflicting emotions, because the moon rules over our subconscious feelings and thoughts and our instincts. And so the nature of something that's subconscious is that we are not aware of it. And when the moon becomes full, those subconscious feelings, like the stuff that we didn't even really know that we know, or maybe it's like comes out in the form of an enactment where you're feeling something very strongly, but you're not even aware of it. And then you act in a way where you're like, oh, wow, like I don't know if this ever happens to you, where you do something or say something and then it kind of feels like you don't know why you did that or where did that come from. It's that kind of energy when we have a full moon. And this full moon is oriented around the sign of Capricorn. So a cardinal earth sign, which is about initiating cardinal and earth practical things. So this can, so this again, it's like there's this theme around a culmination of the actions that you have taken in the practical matters in your life. More specifically, I would definitely look at where in your birth chart this full moon is falling, so which house, because that's going to tell us which area of your life there's this culmination kind of energy. And you can lean into this. You can lean into this and notice where things seem to be emphasized and going well, and where there's kind of like the full moon always has kind of like a rewards kind of energy to it, like something that maybe you've done in the past, reveal like how do I want to say actions that you've taken in the past. There's something that's happening now that links back to that, like that seed that was planted, and we can think of it as the seed that was planted about 6 months ago when there was a new moon in Capricorn. So we can look at over the past 6 months, what kinds of things are happening now that relate back to what you've been working on over the past 6 months. And yeah, so I would just notice and let me know, leave me a comment and let me know if that resonates with you and maybe what you're noticing coming up for you this week. I would say definitely whenever there's a full moon, because there's more of an intense emotional energy, definitely do more self-care, take time for yourself, do some extra journaling and self-reflection, and really prepare yourself for how you want to channel this energy and how you want to move into the next cycle. So if you want to really work with the moon cycles, you can join me at any of my moon circles. I have new moon circles every month. So right now, even now, we're preparing for the next lunar cycle. You can find out more about those on my website, astropsyche.net. The other thing that's happening this week is we have the Sun and Mercury coming together in a conjunction, and then they're also making an aspect to Neptune. So this adds another layer of this Neptunian theme that is about illusion and dreams and fantasies. This aspect, though, is much more helpful versus the Venus square Neptune that I talked about earlier. So the Sun and Mercury are in Cancer, and they're going to conjunct, which means that they're going to be together at the same degree of the zodiac in Cancer. So this is actually a really beneficial aspect for getting clarity, for having insights and revelations where there's kind of like this light bulb, like aha moment. So you can really channel this. And this happens over the weekend. So through the whole week, we're leading up to this energy. Fantastic time for doing more meditation practices, especially meditation that emphasizes insight, mantra, focus, and divination. Mercury rules over divination. This is a fabulous time for doing any kind of work where you are asking for insight or asking for clarity from your higher self or from spirit or deities that you work with, requesting that insight. This is very like crown chakra kind of energy, seeking wisdom from the divine. So that's the Sun Mercury piece. And then what also supports this is that the Sun and Mercury will trine Neptune this week. So the trine is a supportive kind of energy. It helps things to flow. And so when we have the Sun and Mercury, Sun is the conscious identity, the conscious ego. It's also a symbol of your personal soul or spirit energy, that part of you that animates you. When this comes together with Neptune, there is an ability to attune to the other world. And when I say that, I mean the other world as in anything that we cannot see. So that is spirit or angels or divine energy, or even sensing energy, like emotional energy that's going on with someone else or with a situation. But in general, when it's more personal energy, that tends to be more Pluto, I find. But with Neptune, it's sort of more like divine insight and awareness. So this weekend is a fantastic time to look for answers, to answer questions, to receive divine guidance from something that is greater than yourself. All right, let's pull a tarot card for you. So I want you to, as much as you can, wherever you are, get into a comfortable position or space and focus on your breathing. And you're either going to intend for general guidance, or if you have a specific inquiry, a specific question, you're going to hold that question lightly in your heart. And ask that whatever it is that you need to know right now is revealed to you in a way that you can most understand. Ooh, all right. So I got the Queen of Swords. Let's see, there we go. So the Queen of Swords, and I pulled this reversed. So if you use reversals, great. If not, don't worry about that. So the Queen of Swords, the Queen has this leadership quality to it. And the Swords is about communication. It's about voice and speech, as well as thought. Swords has a very mercurial sort of tone to it. And the Queen has this moon sun sort of quality to it, like leadership. And this card, to me, I'm curious what, if you want to leave me a comment and let me know what came up for you when you first heard and even saw this card. What on the imagery, it's very simple. But what comes up for you? To me, this is a symbol of being in your own authority and power and your own voice, and doing that in an embodied way. I'm saying the embodied way because this came up reversed, and sometimes when the Queen of Swords is reversed, it can denote sort of like a self-criticalness that's a little bit sharp, to where it can kind of be a little prickly. And so this is saying, yes, be trusting and proud of your voice and what it is that you have to say. And how can you embrace that in a way that is embodied and comes from the heart, not just the mind. So I hope this was helpful. I love your comments. It always helps me learn and grow when I hear from you on how you're doing or how this resonated, or if you have any questions that came up from this check-in. So leave me a comment and let me know. Share this video with a friend. And then of course, if you want to get more into your own personal transits or what's going on for you right now, and to use the astrology to work through challenges that you're having, I would love to do an astrology reading with you. You can find out more on my website, astropsyche.net. I'm wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.